welcome to the ROBBCAST. This is a show where we do interviews. We interview people from the internet and shit like that, people we find interesting. This is Scott from Scott's Records. You guys have probably seen him. If you've seen me pop up on your feed, you've seen Scott. How you doing, bud?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. What'd you have for dinner?
So we were supposed to make, it was actually kind of funny. We were supposed to have burgers and fries, and my wife was making the burgers. I made the fries, and instead of putting them in like a bowl and patties and all that, she accidentally just threw the whole chunk in there.
Okay.
Like the whole pound. So it ended up getting turned into, you know how usually you get like a pound of ground beef, you make them into patties and then you, right?
Cook the patties individually? No, you just kind of did one?
Yeah. So then we just, cut it up and put it on top of the fries with like cheese. So it was like chili cheese fries without chili. That was good.
I was just saying that it started sounding like meatloaf. I'm like, brother, I think this is just like a Balkan dish you made.
It's white people food. You know how it is. Like,
yeah, no, I grew up in white culture. I understand. You have ground beef, maybe some chips, some fry, a type of potato, cheese, and you mix it.
Always. You always mix it. And then I put ketchup and ranch in true white people fashion.
So there's two types of white people. There's ranch white people and blue cheese white people. I'm a blue cheese white person.
Oh, you're a heathen.
Ranch is for kids. That's a kid flavor to me. Like, eventually you make your way to.
I'm almost 50 and I still collect records to listen to emo. Like, don't.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I took my hat off for a second because I was like, we can't just both be the grown men wearing backwards hats here. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I have tons of hair. I just never show it. That's the weird thing.
No, I did a video the other day, and my friend's like, you have hair? I'm like, I've had fucking hair this whole time. Like, I just, like, I don't know. I grew up around Fred Durst. I don't know what your excuse is. You're a little older.
90s hip-hop.
Okay. Very, very
Is it that or like this, but then there's shadow.
Yeah. No, that's my thing. And, like, I start bumping it. Like, I can never get, like, the bill straight, really. Like, I don't know. So I just... there you go.
I'm old, so I still fold. But did you know it's kind of funny? I guess a couple years ago, New Era made it so that you can't just fold your bill anymore.
Like, you had to get like the foldable ones, right?
Shit. Yeah, it's sickening. It's sickening. So you have to like get a steamer that you would steam your shirt with, steam it.
You gotta like remake your hat,
and then like I don't know. That whole like straight bill thing, I've never been down with that. I think that's more of like a West Coast thing.
Yeah, I'm a straight bill, but see, I think my head's too big. I can't even do the fitted. Like, I can't do the fitted. I gotta have like this kind of like create some like excitement up here, maybe. Like, I don't know. I'm working with what I got, Like,
yeah,
I'm short. I'm white. Like, I gotta find something to look cool. So, last week, this is gonna be the third episode here, and the second episode we interviewed a guy that talks about a lot of third wave emo. But there's emo before that, and there's stuff before that. We need to get some facts straight. We need to straighten some stuff out. So I needed to bring on an expert here to talk about second wave emo, first wave. Brother, in the world of TikTok, which is so, like, before I got on TikTok, like, it was just like, this is where all the dumb stuff is. So in the dumpster pile of TikTok, you are like a historian here in terms of second wave emo. You are the closest thing we got, really. So how did you fall into this? Like, I know you're on the West Coast now. Are you originally from here? How did you fall into this weird emo kid shit?
I grew up in Cleveland, and we were lucky. So I was mostly I've been into literally all types of music my entire life. Like, from being a little kid and my mom playing Marvin Gaye, and then playing the Rolling Stones, and then like I was in 4th grade, and my neighbor across the street gave me a cassette tape. One side was Metallica and Justice for All. The other side was NWA, Straight Outta Compton.
There we go. Solid mix.
Yeah, the first cassette tapes I ever bought with my own money in 6th grade was Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison, and Anthrax, State of Euphoria, like, with my birthday money. So I've always listened to just all kinds of music.
That's kind of when that starts, right? Like, I mean, you're talking like what, like 92, 93 here? Like, this is kind of like
I think it was either 4th grade. It was 1988 when I was in 4th grade.
I was gonna say, this is like right when it starts getting to the point where everyone's listening to everything, right? Like,
yeah, I think so. I don't know, because there's people that don't listen to everything now, which I think is super weird. Like, they only listen to rap, or they only listen to pop punk. Like, that's super weird to me, because there's so much good music out there. But I just talked about it. I made a video about what emo-fied me. And basically, I was a grunge kid. So 1994, I was probably like 15 or whatever. Kurt Cobain wore a Jawbreaker shirt because Jawbreaker was opening for Nirvana. I was a huge Nirvana fan. I was like, oh, I got to check that band out. And then I was like, oh, they're pretty cool. It was 24-hour Revenge Therapy.
Jawbreaker did it.
Well, no, because I don't really consider Jawbreaker emo at all. Like even Dear You, it's just like an alternative rock record or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, and that's another thing. Since I'm old, I fight vehemently against the revisionism.
That's why
The revisionism of music. It's fucking weird that people who like weren't even born are like, no, well, actually, that's post grunge. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up.
No,
like you weren't even there.
I'm guessing like you were in the trenches. I'm guessing message boards, things like that, where it's like, yeah, we were, and like even just like on the school bus or something, where it's like this is that, and now it's like that's really what made me start doing music stuff, because like I'd see these videos where it's like, remember these emo hits, and it'd be like All Time Low and Linkin Park or something like that, and I'm just like, what is going on?
So Jawbreaker, and then I found Sunny Day, and I think Sunny Day was to 90s kids what Blink 182 was to the 2000s or third wave. Like Sunny Day,
okay,
I still don't consider Sunny Day an emo band, even though they've kind of been retroactively turned emo, because they were just an alternative band. Back then, everything was alternative.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, because I mean, you know, I'm turning. I first hear the word emo when I'm like 13, and this is like 2002. You know, so but it's like. And then you'd hear these bands, and these are the bands they'd reference. Sunny Day, I mean, even Jawbreaker, things like that. But, like, I've never heard these bands refer to themselves as emo bands, anything like that. Like, but these were the bands that seemed to influence the next wave, so that kind of got lumped into that. Like, I mean, what was...
Yeah, so there was nothing like Sunny Day Real Estate before Sunny Day Real Estate. Like, they were... And they didn't even really do. They were played on 120 Minutes, which was an MTV show that showed.
I was going to say
alternative stuff.
How big were they even?
They weren't really big. They had I think seven. Seven may have been a single, and then maybe one more. But back then, well, I guess MTV doesn't even play music now, right? It's just like Jersey Shore or whatever.
It's ridiculousness, yeah.
The majority of the videos, like if you wanted to watch like alternative music, you would have to watch Alternative Nation or 120 Minutes. You might find like Green Day, Basket Case, like super popular stuff will be played during the day, but most of the stuff that I wanted to listen to, like Seaweed or Quicksand, whatever, it was all played at night on 120 Minutes or Alternative Nation. So Sunny Day, and then like this was probably 94, 95. I was 15, so I didn't have a ton of like income to buy CDs or whatever. But the biggest thing that I don't think people understand nowadays, we did not have the internet in 1994, 95. If your school may have it, it may have internet. So we didn't have chat boards or message boards. And when you had
it, it was gimmicky or something. I remember when my mom, it was like, oh, cool, I can look up like the score to the hockey game or something. But like you weren't diving into it yet.
Yeah, and that did come a couple years later. Like I remember 99, 2000 going on Yahoo message groups.
Yes.
But we found new music from record stores, your friends, liner notes, magazines, zines. So I found Sunny Day, and then that opened up like, I can't even remember who the next band was. Maybe like Promise Ring or Captain Jazz.
That would sound right. That's the prototypical. That I feel like that's the path.
Yeah, and then Cleveland, we had a little later, we had like Branson was from Cleveland, so they would have other bands come in and play with them. Or I don't know if they were from Cleveland, but there was a band called Grain. It was like a screamo band.
Yes.
And they were, I think they broke up right when I started like getting into stuff.
Okay.
But Cleveland was nice because it was right next to the East Coast, and then it was right next to like the Midwest, Champaign, Urbana area, and they would all come. I didn't get to see too many like second wave emo shows because I was a kid. I started seeing concerts when I was 16, but my girlfriend at the time like wouldn't go with me to see Promise Ring or something. So I saw a lot of, I saw Pearl Jam. I saw pretty much every band but Nirvana and Alice in Chains. I never saw it at the drive-in.
Well, I was gonna say too. I imagine like before, like it gets like MTVified and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. These bands are playing in kind of like sketchier venues. They're not as well known by like the normies and things like that. Like I don't imagine they were doing the same kind of tours and things like that. Like you look back and see it, like everything looks like a fucking basement show to me.
Yeah, and that was the beautiful part about it, because some of them were. We had basements in the Midwest. Yeah. We had, I'm trying to think, we had a place called the Grog Shop, and that's the first time I saw Jimmy Eat World and Promise Ring. It was a Clarity tour. Before that, I saw Newfound Glory and Saves the Day played there in '98.
Wow.
And
okay,
it was
I've heard of the Grog Shop because bigger bands play there. So when like the tour, like I remember when I was younger, like Alkaline Trio or something would announce their tour, I would see that would be the Cleveland. Like I know certain venues because of I know what the 930 Club in DC. Like I know these places because like Alkaline Trio would play there when I was a little nerd.
You mentioned 930. I used to be super cool with Vinny from Movie Life back in the day. Yeah, and I just haven't seen him in years. But whenever I was someplace and they were playing, he would always like put me on the list.
Sick. And
I was in DC the night they played with, I want to say Thrice and Face to Face.
Wow. Okay.
The 930 Club is not in a good neighborhood. Or it wasn't. It wasn't.
I don't think most of DC is a good neighborhood besides like the Capitol Hill area. Besides that, like DC is, I've been there. It's rough.
Yeah. So wait, is it the BART or the Metro in DC? I always get those two confused. What BART is DC and then Chicago is the Metro, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I always get it mixed up.
BART's San Francisco, DC. Metro is LA, Chicago.
I took the BART to the closest stop by the 930 Club at like 8 o'clock at night. I was terrified. It was a great show though. It was a really good show.
There's a different type of like scariness on the East Coast, I gotta say, in general. Like when I went to like New York and Philly and stuff like that, like the homeless people, everything over here, like they're just kind of like stoned, crazy. There's mental, but over there, like there is like anger. Like these motherfuckers are mad at you.
Yeah, like, it was interesting. I used to travel for. This is what's funny. I was actually just talking about this with one of my friends. I drove 16 hours once to see Glassjaw play Long Island. And it was like the greatest show of my life. It was in a VFW hall. Burn played, Blood Red, Sky Came Falling, like just the most insane lineup. Glassjaw's playing in 2 days in LA with Poison the Well.
At the Glass House or where?
Palladium.
Oh, damn. Okay,
I think the Palladium. They're playing with Poison the Well. It's the opposite of December 25th anniversary tour.
Wow. Okay.
Glassjaw is opening with like 2 other bands that I don't really listen to. So I drove 16 hours once to see Glassjaw, but I refused to drive 1 hour up to LA in my 40s to see them play.
No, I get it. Like even like I remember like with the Warped Tour stuff, like I was sending in like a thing like for like a press pass, and I was like, and I'm like, people are like talking about flying, like commenting on the videos about flying. I'm like, I'm not 100% sure that the week of I'm gonna be down to drive to Long Beach, bro. Like that is these are long treks. Like when I hit you up, you're like, yeah, we're doing it on the computer. Like I'm not driving to the fucking valley. Like brother, I don't want to drive to the valley either. Like.
No, and what did Johnny Chase say in Entourage? It's like stuck with me ever since. You never go to the valley after June.
Yeah, no, seriously. Before I moved to the valley, like, what's the name of the agent that Ari has? His buddy that's a TV agent at that point, who he like starts working with again, and he's like working in the valley, and it's just like he's in the valley, and it's just like all this shit. When I first moved to LA, like I lived in Hollywood, and like it was like I didn't want to move to the valley because it's like. That's where you go to die. Like, I didn't know, now I'm here. I'm like, fuck, I'm stuck.
When I first moved to California, we drove, I drove, one of my friends came with me. And then the day after we arrived, we went to Warped Tour, like 2 days in a row. And then we were listening to Saves the Day, Shoulder to the Wheel, like, and California by Phantom Planet over and over and over. So I moved to California right when that show, The OC, was starting.
Wow.
And I moved to the OC.
Wow, okay.
So I'm like watching the show. I didn't really know anything about Southern California besides the one friend who I moved out here like to move in with, and like I lived in Ohio. Why the fuck wouldn't I not move to California?
Beautiful. And so, like, living in San Diego, even in LA, like, not as much in LA because everyone is here with, like, a mission. But, like, when I lived in San Diego, it'd be the same thing. It'd be like, I don't know, just like I wanted to move to California. And it's like, they're like, so I live by the beach, and they like, live in an apartment, and they're like, they didn't really know the areas yet. They're just straight up just like, this is California. Like, we wanted to come here. It's kind of nice.
I learned so much about California, but not like the good stuff. Like, I'd never heard of 909er until the OC taught me, and I just moved here. I'm like, what's a 90? What does that mean?
Yeah, you start to figure out these weird little things about it, like here in general, like even Orange County stuff. Like I don't like driving through Orange County. I don't like stopping in Orange County. Like it's a different fucking state. You go east of here, like Riverside. Like I don't want to go over there. I don't want to San Bernardino. Like that's meth country, brother. Like we have 5 different countries here just in Southern California.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's not even that I like Orange County or what Orange County is about. I don't like to leave my freaking house. Like I don't want to do anything that I have to travel like extended periods of time. I used to live in New Mexico before I moved. I moved to California, moved to New Mexico, moved back to California. Okay. So once a year we would drive to like visit people, and it was probably like a 12, 16-hour drive. Like with kids, it always changes everything. You know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to fucking drive anywhere. I live 20 minutes from the observatory, and talking about the Glassjaw show, Free Throw is playing the same night with Harrison Gordon and Ben Quad.
Oh,
I kind of want to go to that. Dude, it's a 20-minute drive. And I'm like, do I really want to leave?
Do you really want to? That's a nice tour, though. Like, those are like, if I mean, so speaking of genres and the like, what do you consider those bands? Like, are we throwing those, like, is Harrison Gordon a fourth wave emo band? Like, what is
the yeah, we were supposed to be talking about that. That's right. So here's my thing. I don't like stuff that is not from the Midwest or from the 90s being called Midwest emo.
Mm-mm. Well, then it wouldn't be from the Midwest. It's like, that's like, I mean, in hip hop, they're like, oh, he's like an East Coast rapper, but the guys from like, like New Mexico, they're not saying that. Like, they don't say that. There's things make sense to them. I mean, in country music, like you're from Nashville, you're a Texas, you're dirt road country. Like at some point, like, when does this start? When does it get fucky like this? When everyone starts messing with the labels?
Yeah, and I don't get mad. Like I make my little joke videos about American football only because people say American football created Midwest emo, and it triggers me to death. Like it triggers the hell out of me because there was a whole genre like almost a decade before American football even came out. So I call bands like those bands like fifth wave bands. I think we're in the fifth wave now.
Yeah, we've been in the fifth because I'd say the fourth is like Tiger's Jaw and stuff like that. Hotel
and Free Throw.
Free
Throw's fourth wave. So I just go by waves now because I don't. Even though I am a gigantic emo gatekeeper, and I do judge people like by what they say, I don't openly do it. Like I think music is super subjective. Like what you want. I would never tell somebody that their choice of music is bad or anything like that. Like I would not do that externally. I might think it.
I'm thinking it. Yeah, but also like
because it's
these people a lot. Like especially especially if it's like certain bands that were more popular and the like you can like, and it's not a bad because it's like I'm not if someone didn't spend their entire adolescence diving into liner notes and message boards and being weird about it, I do not judge them for that. They were outside having a life. I respect that. But it's like, those are the people kind of lumping everything in. And you could tell it's just like, there's not the same, they weren't as passionate about it. They weren't as deeply in the scene. Because back then it was very much, it was like, I'd imagine pre-third wave, it's very much like this is not like we use the word like niche now, but like back then it's like this is like a subculture, like you were the weird kids. Like they would identify us by groups based on how we were dressed back then. You know what I mean? Like that's what you guys are.
People didn't even really use the word emo. Like it was punk rock. Like we listen to punk rock or we listen to alternative. At least for me, alternative was the biggest umbrella because it covered grunge, punk, like indie rock, college rock, whatever the hell that means. Like it covered everything. So nobody really said emo until the third wave. And
when does that start? Because I remember when I first heard it. I heard it on like an MSN chat room. Like someone's like, I like emo, and I was like, what is that? And they're like, oh, it's like emotional punk. And they started listing off, it was like Jimmy, Boxcar, like Promise. They're listing that, and I was like, oh, I like those bands too. I guess I like emo too. Like I had never heard the word though. Like I don't even think I knew how to say it out loud. Like I think I would have said like emo or something.
Let me rephrase, because people did use the word, but nobody had referred to themselves as emo.
No, I don't even think that started until the fourth wave, or maybe the end of the third. Because when I was in school, that was a slur. Like,
yeah, but I feel like I was going to make a video about this because someone asked me on one of my videos. I feel like it started in the third wave, but not until maybe the middle. Like, you know how? Mm-hmm. So I think third wave started in 2000.
Yes, like, I think that's fair.
Maybe 99. I like to consider 99. Like
so what's Clarity? Clarity is a
second.
Second, okay. Because I in my head the second and third, like second ends with Jimmy and starts with Chris in my head, like in terms of popularity.
Yeah,
like
but
there's like, still like a year or two in between there.
Yeah, Swiss Army Romance didn't really do much, if I remember correctly. It was very, very like underground niche. But I always joke that Dashboard Unplugged was the catalyst that blew everything up. Like after Dashboard Unplugged, that's when Thursday, Thrice, Saves the Day, like brand
absolutely.
New. Everybody got signed to major labels. It was wild. The Honda, remember the Honda Civic tour?
Yeah, the Civic tour. We did our live March Sadness the other day, and literally every other band, Amanda would be like, "Oh, I saw them," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I was on the Honda Civic tour, or like the Nintendo GameCube tour," and it'd be like this Honda Civic tour. Like I saw Panic and Motion City and your boys Phantom Planet on the Honda Civic tour.
Love Phantom Planet. They're playing Glass House soon. I think I'm gonna go. I haven't seen them in like 10 years.
Good for Phantom Planet. I didn't think they were doing numbers still. That's good.
No, I think they're gonna have a new album this year. Surprisingly, I'm here for it. The last album was really good.
What do we call Phantom Planet? Is that power pop?
I don't even indie rock. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Another thing is, I feel like on TikTok when I'm making videos, I have to genreify stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or people don't get it. But I don't even. I just listen to alternative.
Like, well, that's the thing too. There's stuff that just crosses such ways where it's like the genres are fun, and like as I've gotten older, I've like made up my own genres and like divided them. Like. Oh, that 90s post-grunge to me, it's like I don't call it post-grunge. To me, post-grunge would be like Creed. Like I call it, there's like the dad rock and then there's mom rock, and it's like they're in there. And then there's like I Hate My Dad rock. That was a lot of the new metal bands. Like it's like, well, this is this. Even with like the stuff that's all called emo, and like there's other people that make these videos, and I'll see it. There's a lot of the kids that are more into like the like the Finch and stuff like that. And I'm like I'm more into the pop stuff. Like I was the poppy and that was its own wave. There was like summer emo, winter emo, summer's more pop punk.
Well, and again, so I talked about this before too. You grew up in California, right?
For the most part. Yeah. Well, Canada and California. I went to high school in Canada, but I'd spend my summers and all holidays and everything in San Diego.
Okay. So like on the East Coast or even the Midwest, everything is gloomy.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that? Like, think about the lyrics from back in the day. Thursday, compare them to Finch. Like, similar music. I'm not saying similar quality, but similar music, right? There was always a difference. Like, I always felt like West Coast stuff was happy.
Yes.
Happier. East Coast stuff, we weren't happy. We lived, like, in Ohio, it was gray. Like, at least 2 out of the 4 months,
No, I've ridden the train through New Jersey, and it was like in November, and it's just like it's gray and brown, and I remember just thinking like, I would just be playing music here. Like there's nothing to do, you're miserable, and you just want to get the fuck out. Where like same thing. Like when I lived in Canada, I played in a band in high school, and our shit was probably depressing as hell. And then when I played in a band in California, it's like let's get stoned at the beach. You know what I mean? Like your vibe kind of starts to change.
Yeah, and I think that's why, like, I do enjoy California bands or West Coast bands or whatever, but I was always more drawn to. It's just like
you have the gloom inside you. It's your home. Yeah, it's it's your natural habitat.
It's just like New York rap compared to. I feel like everybody is biased in some way. Do you know what I mean? With everything. So I don't know. I like pretty much everything though. I try not to be like a gatekeeper anymore. I was one of the people calling you a poser in high school though, for sure.
Sick. No,
sure.
Because like, there's also a thing too. Like, did you have older siblings, or did you kind of find this stuff on your own?
I was the oldest.
Okay, yeah. So like, there's that tricky part too, where it's like if you have some guidance, you kind of have someone to guide you. But like, I remember being like 13, and it's like half the bands I'd find were bands that were considered cool, and the other half, like, I remember asking a kid like, is Good Charlotte cool? You know, and he's like, no. And it's like, well, it sounded the same as fucking Rancid to me. I was 13. I'm like, okay, this one, it didn't make sense to me necessarily. Like, I remember showing up when I went to school in San Diego, I showed up, I had one of the Maid shirts. I thought they looked fucking gangster. Like, I liked how they kind of had like a ghetto look to them. And I remember you had the other punk kids like, call me poser. I'm like, we talk about music all the time. Like, I don't know. I didn't know. But yeah, there was that. Yeah. Like, do you think that the new generation of people, are they gatekeeping as hard? I imagine them being a lot friendlier, but then I see the Gen Z people online, and they also seem kind of terrible.
I can't imagine because, and I'm a Zennial, and we're the best generation ever anyway, so I don't really care about any other generation.
I agree, yeah. I'll give you that, yeah. I'll give you that.
I feel like the Gen Z kids, at least the ones online, I feel like they don't have their own personality. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying like when they make videos, I feel like they're reflecting. I don't know. It's just super weird seeing Jankos come back into style, like
the Jankos.
It's just super weird, and I'm not trying to bash them because when I was in school in the 90s. There were the kids that dressed like they were in the 70s. Do you know what I mean? With like bell-bottom corduroys and like flower shirts. Like that
everything's always about 20, 25 years wraps around. Yeah.
It's super cyclical. And I don't know how. Maybe they can gatekeep, but how can you gatekeep music that's not yours? Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not you. I think you know what I'm trying to say. Like
I do, and I also think in another world, like spinning off that same thought, I also think there's less of like when you're talking like because I'm like the very tail end of that, where it's like you had to go find these records. You'd go to a record, you would take a chance, you would spend your money on it, you would find something only you had found it, this and that. Whereas like now it's like I'm on my phone. I can go on Apple Music or Spotify, and there's every song that's ever existed, and they all blend in, and there's nothing setting them apart, and I have no attachment to this one, so I can click play. Like, there's some bands that I like. It's like I've never even listened to the album all the way through because I'll switch this. Like, you don't have that attachment, so I don't imagine the younger people getting it, like making the music as much a part of their personality in general. Maybe.
Yeah, and you said something at the beginning. Like, I was a nerd. I was a total music. I didn't have a lot of friends. Like, I would research and then get a bunch of Columbia House CDs for a penny that I'd never pay, and you just listen. And when you would go to the store to buy a CD, you're paying $10 to $20. CDs were like $17.99. You would make yourself listen to that CD. Like
you would put it in, you'd fucking read along with it, you'd give it a second, a third try, you'd find those songs you like. You had to put in work on it.
Exactly, because you did not want to waste your money buying a brand new CD and liking one song. Like, you would make yourself. Like, I still remember the first time I heard the Gorilla Biscuits. I was like, what is this shit? Like, because I had heard Minor Threat, I heard a couple other. Oh wait, we're allowed to cuss on here, right? Because we
can say whatever we want. Yeah, no, the ROBBCAST is, you can say any word you want. I mean, I wouldn't say like the N word or anything like that, but like like you could, non-slur cursing is totally fine. Yeah, just don't get me fucking canceled.
No, but I still remember hearing the Gorilla Biscuits for the first time. I'm like, what is this? And then I bought the CD, so I made myself listen to it.
You had to, yeah. Even if it wasn't something that you were normally into, like you'd take a chance on this or that, like I mean, there's so many like that. I mean, everything, like, I remember going through, like, my stepdad's music, and everything from, like, Portishead to, like, Fastball. Like, it didn't matter. Like,
Nice,
Savage
yeah.
Garden, you know, like, whatever it is. Like, I mean, that's how I found a lot of punk bands. You know, my dad had a roommate that had all these CDs from the big 90s bands, you know, the Rancid, Offspring, Pennywise, that shit. Like, and it was, like, cool. And you'd have to, like, invest in it. I'm sure, like, we would invest more into one song back then than I feel like I've invested in, like, the last 20 albums I've listened to.
It's because we had singles, dude, and
Yeah.
CD singles. We're paying $4 for a song. We're gonna listen to the hell out of that
No,
song.
I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, exactly.
Plus, I don't think people understand in the 1990s, and I'm not just being biased because it's my, like, come up age or whatever. Music, like, think about the Beatles. Beatles changed rock and roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 90s kind of in general changed everything. Like, shoegaze was started in the late 80s, early 90s, grunge, punk existed, pop punk existed, but it really, like, hit the mainstream in the 90s.
I mean, as someone who was very much like a punk nerd before anything else, I mean, I mean, I'm sure people, like, I'm gonna clip this and put it on just so people get upset, but the 80s were the worst punk decade, like, for, like, straight up, like, punk rock, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree. I mean,
besides Bad Religion, you're not really getting too much great, like, you're getting good post-punk, you're getting good hardcore, you're getting good other things, but, like...
So, yeah, hardcore, okay, because Minor Threat and the Gorilla Biscuits and, like, 80s hardcore was phenomenal.
That's great.
80s hardcore is phenomenal, but still to this day, I always say, because, like, I did a Blink Worst to Best, a Fall Out Boy Worst to Best. I don't really like pop punk music. Like, I like some of it, but I'm weird with music. I go by my connection to it.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so Blink 182 Dude Ranch will always be my favorite Blink 182, you know? I didn't really like a lot of punk. Another thing I don't think people get, in the 90s, it was like put in our DNA to not sell out. Like, you can ask any 90s person, there's this weird shit in our brain about selling out.
Yeah.
And it's actually, it screwed me over in life. Like, I used to do gaming YouTube, and I wouldn't do the
screws
generic,
me over.
like,
It screws me over now. It screws me over now in my life, and it's like a weird thing that, like, and it's specifically up to that age range and, like, from that scene, that world, where it's like I explain to other people, it's like, that's not, and to me, it's like, well, I'm doing this stuff with this, I'm going to check out this artist, and it's like, this feels fake, this feels manufactured. Like, I'm a punk. Like it's like, this is taking away a spot from a band that deserves it. Like, there's a band
it's super
that's
weird.
just like me, fucking sweating away at the Silver Lake Lounge right now. Like, they deserve this spot. Like, and I am making the industry worse. I am what 13-year-old me would have hated. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, 13-year-old me also, like, didn't need money.
Have bills.
And that was that was a different world. Like, even like advertising. Like, I remember, like, I'd always hear growing, like if you have like having a song in a commercial or something, like, that was the most uncool thing you can do. And then, like,
you're a sellout.
Yeah, you're a sellout. Like, I remember even, like, when, like, the Neutrogena or the L'Oreal, the transplants one happened, I remember even kind of thinking then,
I
like,
remember that.
That's not cool, is it? That's lame. And then some point, like, in the 2010s, I'm guessing, right around streaming, when the record, you know, sales collapse, all of a sudden, motherfuckers are in every commercial.
Yeah, and it's super weird. I don't know. I would love I should make a video about that, or you make a video about that, like, other 90s people talking, because it has to be some type of phenomena. Like, I don't even know how it got to that point where, you know, Nirvana, they were, don't sell out, Pearl Jam are sellouts, this and that.
Yes.
The goal,
a lot of that is
realize.
it too. Like, I was such a Nirvana mark when I was a kid. I read Heavier Than Heaven by, you know, Charles Cross, and it's just like, selling out, like, that's selling out, you know, like, I never do that. As I'm listening to this band that's playing, you know, candy coated grunge music on a major label on MTV, you know?
So, like, it goes back to punk. So, like, Green Day, I thought they were huge sellouts. Like, when they first came out with The Offspring, like, I never got into any of those. I still don't understand how Green Day is one of the biggest pop punk bands ever when they haven't made a good record since Dookie. Like, that's just me. I don't get it, but that's not my thing. Bad Religion, all the other West Coast bands, like, the bands that people love, I never got into them because I didn't grow up here. And if I was in seventh grade listening to like the Misfits, Bad Religion isn't going to do anything for me.
No.
I didn't have skate culture. I didn't have bro culture. Like
it was very
like
West Coast stuff that like that was like that stuff like these girls. It's like and I wouldn't even think about it, but a lot of that being ingrained in me. Like those were all my first like my favorite punk band in high school was Social Distortion. I love Social D. Fucking love Social D. And then I moved and then I like came down here full time and then I started going to the shows in San Diego and I'm like, oh, this is like a really bro-y culture. Like this is a lot less punk rock than of a vibe than I think. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm talking about. Like it almost I've been to one Offspring show. The Bronx and Alkaline Trio opened for them, and I went, and I swear to God, it was like I was at like a Trump rally or like a NASCAR event or something. I'm like, they're like
it's
San Bernardino people.
Weird.
Yeah,
it's super weird. Like lifted trucks, nautical stars, like
super fucking. You had to have a nautical star to get in the building. They made me pay double because I didn't have that shit. Like no, it's like the weirdest phenomenon, and like I don't know if that exists in other places much because like I went to high school in Canada and like I was hip to it. Maybe some other people were, and it was just a thing. Like most people didn't listen to punk rock, but down here, everyone knows Rancid and Pennywise. Everyone knows these songs, so like it make its way into like the dirt bike culture, and things like
because
that.
K-Rock is huge. Like most radio stations aren't like a K-Rock or where it's just nonstop. They do actual events. So like I knew about K-Rock before I even moved to California.
Me too. Yeah, it was like mythical. Yeah, they had like this, especially 80s, 90s. I'm like up to a certain point, they really had a stranglehold on like the area, and like I'd read all these things about it and be like, oh, and then Rodney started playing their music on K-Rock, and it's like, and then they broke, and like I moved to LA and started playing music in 2012, and even then I was like, we got to get on K-Rock, like.
Yeah, or like the Real Big Fish record. With Sellout, I can't remember what it's called. I have it, but it's Jed the Fish from K-Rock, like on the cover that they're busting the door. Like K-Rock it's a weird culture here in SoCal. It's super cool though. Now, have you heard any of the modern screamo, like California? Dude, screamo is the
popping off in
screamo
California.
Scene, yeah, screamo I would say is the best it's been since the 90s with like I Hate Myself, Indian Summer, like Widow Dusk, Verse Self, Catalyst. Like there's so many good, especially in LA. If I drove to LA,
it'd be for a
I might
show.
actually drive to LA because there's a show called Your Modern Renaissance or some shit like that. Kite Flying Society's playing, Portraits of Past, like all these 90s hardcore bands or screamo bands are playing with like Widow Dusk and New Mirrors and all these like modern bands. So it's super cool. You should go to screamo
Speaking
shows,
of
Rob.
screamo, I was gonna say, like, yeah, I've as I've gotten older and gotten more into that, I'm hearing, and I've learned that a lot of people believe screamo actually started in San Diego. Is there any? Would you like to expunge on this a little? Is that true?
I don't know who the first screamo band is. All right, so San Diego had the Gravity Records scene. I know some of the bands, but it wasn't my scene. And again, we didn't get Gravity Record. Like I didn't even hear about Gravity until like the late 90s because anything that happened in California, we heard about it 2-3 years later in Ohio. But Gravity, it was like Antioch Arrow, the Locusts, I believe, or Justin Pearson had bands.
The Locusts, yeah, he had a band before. What was?
I can't remember. But it's Gravity Records. It's all the Gravity Records stuff. I liked some of it, but I probably would have liked it more if I actually lived there. Because, I don't know, Antioch Arrow is so bad.
No, it's funny you bring up the Locusts. Like, there was a time, so like I'm in San Diego, like I'm starting to get into this in the early 2000s, and then finding out like all these bands that I hadn't heard of, and like it was like that was my the time you want to find these bands that the other kids didn't know and things like
right?
that. But it was like, yeah, that was one. Like the Locusts were huge, and I got to I remember seeing him. Justin was like the doorman at the zombie lounge in San Diego. I played a show there once. And I remember he was like such a dick, but I was just like, this guy's like so cool. Like this guy's so fucking punk rock. Like, I drive like Jehu, as well. And, I don't know if you ever knew, Plot to Blow Up the Eiffel Tower. They were a pretty big San Diego band at the time.
No, I've heard of them. I don't know if I've heard them. I know Drive Like Jehu. Hot Snakes and Hot Cross. Hot Snakes was Drive Like Jehu members, right? And then Hot Cross was
Yes.
the East Coast band. I always get those mixed up. Just like Weaker Thans and
You get Weaker Thans and Propaganda mixed up?
no, no.
Oh, I was gonna say
Weaker Thans and I can't remember the other Weatherbox for whatever fucking reason.
Weatherbox.
Weaker
That's
Thans
a
and
San
Weatherbox,
Diegan.
dude. Yeah. But San Diego, like I mess with. I think Heroin was from San Diego, right?
Yes.
Heroin. I fucked with. I can't even say that. Like I mess with Heroin a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I really enjoy heroin. Yeah.
No, Heroin was good, but I didn't. I Screamo's never been like my main thing. It's always been shitty emo, like Promise Ring, Cabbage. Like I don't know. That's what kind of bugs me, and that's why I get so mad about the whole American football Midwest emo now, because all the Twinkle stuff like that, it didn't even. Basically, Algernon Calderwalder, Algernon Cabin Jazzwalder, and the fourth wave, they basically just ripped off the sound of the second wave, added more math rock, and then that became Midwest emo. So everything that people call Midwest emo now, for the most part, unless it was from the 90s in the Midwest, is just revival. It's just Midwest revival.
I was gonna say I really didn't start hearing that term used as loosely until about the 2010s or so, and it's really just describing most of the fourth wave bands. Like anything with a twinkly guitar gets that title. Like it's like things now. Revisionist history is like there's Fall Out Boy emo and there's Midwest emo. Like seems to be the
super
divide
weird
now, and it's so weird.
Yeah,
like,
people call real emo Midwest emo, and it's Midwest emo has like arpeggios. If you listen to any 90s record from a Midwest emo band, the music's up here, the vocals are down here. It's because none of them can sing. And
yeah, we couldn't sing yet.
Yeah, they were paying $400 for a studio session, cranking out a whole record, and then they're not going to pay like a bunch of extra money to mix it. They're going to put it on a 12-inch and play some shows and then break up 2 years later. Like, that was 90s emo in a nutshell, basically.
When do you think, because when I was younger, you didn't need to know how to sing that well to play in a band, to sing in a band. At some point you did. When does this switch happen?
Dude, Jeff Rickley is a horrible singer.
Right? Yeah, like that. Like
Thursday, and Thursday is an amazing band. Like I do not think Jeff Rickley is a good singer, but I love when Jeff Rickley sings. If that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, there's so many. I don't know. I honestly feel like 2000 after Dashboard Confessional Unplugged, everything changed.
Everything changed.
That's when people started calling themselves emo. Mm-hmm. Anytime kids get involved, and this is not bashing any.
No.
Because I was a grunge kid. I got involved into grunge as a child. So it's like.
And that's probably when grunge got shitty, is when you kids, like it's, it's the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once places can start making money off of something, off of a counterculture or subculture, whatever, that's when it kind of starts going downhill. And if you think about it, I was already in my 20s. I think I was 21 when Full Collapse came out in 2001.
Okay.
So it's like that record for me is going to be different than like a 14 or 15-year-old that heard it for the first time. Mm-hmm. You know, like people get mad at me when I talk shit on like Blink Untitled. That came out in 2003, right?
You're like 26, 24.
Yeah. Or Fall Out Boy, Infinity on High. I said it's a decent record. There's some good songs. There's a lot of filler. Like, I was almost 30 years old when that came out. Like, that shit.
There's no way I can like it as much as you
whatsoever.
did. Yeah. No, I was a senior in high school when Infinity on High came out. Of course, it's my favorite. You know, like of course that one's my favorite. You know, like people weren't there for those ones. That's why like I do get a kick out like some of them. Like, and sometimes I'll purposely where it's like, especially like an album ranking. There's some pretty clear ones, you know what I mean? For the most part, it's like, okay, you know, these bands, these are the good ones, this and that. But it's like, you can really start to see it. Like, I'll do like the Punkaramas, like I did that the other day, and it's like, I can tell this is solely based on people's ages because like these are all objectively about the same level of quality, really. Like, it's just like these were like the 20 fucking songs from this year, and it's like none are really better than the other, but like the old heads are like number one, number two, you know what I mean? Then the younger one's like, I like 7, 8, you know, but it's like, we're just going off of emotions here, boys. Like,
and
which
that's
is cool.
literally all it is. And I would never, whenever I do my worst to best, I'm at the beginning of every video, I'm like, if you don't like it, tough. Like, it's my opinion.
You right?
Like, don't get mad at me because I was listening to Blink Dude Ranch when I was 15 and 16 years old. And then, or no, I guess I was like 16, 17. And then you were listening to Untitled when you were 15 or 16. And everybody knows between 15 and 25, or I don't know if everybody knows that, but yes, there is an actual study that shows between 15 and 25, the music you hear, the shows you watch, like that will become your personality.
Forever, yes. And that's why I'm trying to sprinkle more of them in now, where it's like these people are so hung up on these old bands, and I've given my friends shit over it too, and it's another reason I didn't start doing any sort of emo pop punk stuff at first, because it's like, I think it's Tony Soprano. He's like, remember when is the lowest form of conversation. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to just be like, where it's like, you guys like Mayday Parade? I like Mayday Parade too. You know, it's like, okay, now you guys trust me. You know, we like the same thing. And now it's like with the other day with Combat, it's like, well, I would really like you to go listen to the fucking Combat record. I told my friend yesterday, I'm like, this is the best, I'm like, this is the best pop punk, whatever you want. This is the best pop punk record of the decade so far, of the 2020 so far to me. Stay Golden is like, that's great to me. Like, I might even go as far back and say, like, this is the best. It's my favorite since, like, On the Impossible Past by the Menzingers.
I don't like the Menzingers.
You don't like the Menzingers one? See,
No,
that's my,
Or their West Coast counterpart, Spanish Love Songs. I don't like either of them.
They're West Coast. Yeah, the Springsteen adjacent bands. No, I like any band that is Springsteen adjacent. No, the Spanish Love Songs, as a West Coaster, I should get more on that. I'm more of a, like, I like my East Coast
great music,
bands.
Great lyrics. Same thing with Menzingers. For whatever reason, I don't like their voices. I'm autistic as fuck. Like, I am. It's, if anybody talks to me for long enough and sees that my hyper focus is music, I'll start being like, yeah, did you hear that group scream in the 10, Holiday from Rio, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's weird. If I can't click with the voice, Hotelier, I just got the record. People are like, oh, it's the best record of the fourth wave. And it's like, I don't like it because the dude's voice bugs me.
I tried so hard. I tried so hard to love that record when it came out. Like, same thing. It's like, this is the best one. I gotta like it. You know what I mean? It's just like, not feeling it.
Yeah. And then I'm also weird because I'll listen to a CD once or twice, or I guess stream something once or twice now. If I don't like it by the second listen, I just never listen to it again. Mm-hmm. And then like 5 years later, I'll be like, oh yeah, that Third Eye Blind self-titled record is really good.
Still hung up on that one. So like, diving in here, going through the waves, I think obviously second wave is your favorite.
Yes.
What are your general opinions on the third wave? And how do you feel about that? Because obviously it's kind of this fucky spot where like that is the basis of everything to people, and it kind of makes it so other shit's forgotten. And that's where it really starts getting messy with people mislabeling and just for lack of better terms, literally like appropriating the culture. Like,
yeah, really quick. Did you actually have a game plan on where to go during this whole thing? Because I've thrown you off course so many times.
Oh yeah, no, I have a general idea. No, I just go as I go.
Okay,
like,
okay.
I tried writing things down one time and I was like, this is dumb. What's nice is for Emo Kids Anonymous, our podcast, Amanda does everything. And like, I used to have like a podcast.
You just show up.
I had one before like 5 years ago, it's Perfect Record, where each one I'd have like a different guest and they'd pick a record and we would just talk basically the shit they were doing when it came out. We wouldn't really talk much about the record. We'd be talking about like where they were hooking up with chicks when it came out, or like what they were, like amazing. What they were, what buildings they were drinking behind, and like I would just kind of go with it. But then like we did we did Emo Anon, and like I show, and it's like it looks like what I imagine a work meeting looks like at like a really nice office job. Like the whole thing is lit, and I'm just like, oh, like it's all, I don't have to do anything. Like I'm just
I can't do that. I'm all over the place. Like
no, I normally am too, and like that's why I'm like. I feel for her because I'm like, at some point she's just really, I'm like, you were driving the car because like I'm gonna go on a fucking tangent at some point. Like,
it's funny because you just asked me a question and then I interrupted and asked you a question, and then I completely forgot what the question was. So can you ask me the question again? Third wave.
Third wave emo, the appropriation. How do you feel about it in general? We got, because we're gonna have some people listening to this that are from that. Like, there's a lot of people that follow me and that it's like, this is the world. These are the bands they know. Like, they don't even know newer ones really. Like, there's a lot of, I'd say 75% of the people listening to this are only listening to music from fucking 1999 to 2009. You know?
Okay, so again, music is the most beautiful, subjective thing on the planet. So I'm not trying to bash anybody by anything that I say. So now that I said it, first off,
they know that, yeah.
When 30-something-year-olds say elder emo, it triggers me because I'm like 10 years older than you, and I had to give canned food to a door to get into a show with like 20 other people, and I get kicked in the face in a mosh pit. So
this is part of that selling out thing I hate too, because it's like, one, like, I'll put it as like a hashtag in the thing because like it's like, I know that like that's what people, you know, all these people identify as, but it's like, I don't like that.
It's fucking weird. It's like
fucking
the
hate
weirdest
it.
shit to me.
We used to get bullied for that term. Like, I would tell, you know, it's like, no, I'm a punk, I'm this or that. Like, even like emo kid. At some point, emo kid became okay. Where it's like, okay, emo kid works. Like, we'll take that. That's nice. But then it became like elder emo. I don't like that usage. The way they're like, I don't know if it's a verb or an adjective or whatever it is, but it's like they're using it in the wrong fucking place. Yeah, they're using it in the wrong space.
Yeah, so that bugs me. But besides that, the only other thing that, so I love the third wave. There's so many great bands. I started in the second wave, but I wasn't old enough to go to shows. So by the time the third wave started to hit, I was probably 20, 21. I was going to shows like a mother, like every show you could possibly think of. I saw every single third wave emo band that was popular that you could ever imagine in little tiny clubs. Like, I would go to shows all the time. Loved it. So from the beginning of the third wave to, I would say, like 2003, super cool community, just fun shows. It wasn't that different from the 90s shows, only a little bigger. Once it started becoming popular and like little kids trickled in,
I was going to say about 04, 05, 06 is right when it starts getting real young.
You know, it's weird. I got out of it after like when did the last My Chem record come out? Was it 05 or was it like
The last
even
one
Black
came
Parade,
out.
like
Black Parade came out 06. The last one, Danger Days, comes out like 2010.
Okay, so I was pretty much out of emo by then. So like third wave, I was in it and I went hard from probably like 2000 to maybe 2003, 2005. I can't remember. I would still go see the big bands that I saw. By then, the only second wave band that was still around were Get Up Kids and Jimmy, if I remember correctly. There might be some more in there. I would still go see Jimmy every time. I still have yet to see the fucking Get Up Kids. Like, something happens every single time I'm supposed to see them. And then I liked it. I mean, I thought it was weird seeing, you know, it's funny. You actually talked about Gravity. Gravity was all about like white belts and the like swoopy bangs and stuff like that.
That was like the look. That was the look. Like, it wasn't even like it was like kind of punk. Like, you'd wear it, like, that was the look in San Diego, especially like in hindsight, like looking back, like that's not how we dressed in Canada. Like, you'd wear like the girl's shirt or like a extra small shirt. You'd have the white belt. Like, you'd be wearing like not even skinnies, but they were tight pants, like maybe boot cut or something like that. And like, yeah, it was kind of a the swoopy, like kind of
Midwest and like East Coast. We were wearing like sweater vests, cargo shorts with some like New Balance or Saucony's or something, right? Camo shorts if we were kind of hardcore with a hoodie. So like, if you think about it, Gravity Records looked like how emo kids look like in 03, 05. Like, it kind of, that whole thing. And then when I first moved to Orange County, it was when 18 Visions and like all that shit where they had like dress shirts with ties and like the bang and the belts and stuff like that. Like, I liked third wave. I still like third wave. I would say the majority of my stuff is third wave because a lot of the second wave stuff I had on CD, and now
I was
the
gonna say
records cost
and the third waves are the ones doing all the variants and shit like that too. They're a little easier to get. Yeah, like all those bands. You got the red splatter, the blue splatter, the marble splatter. Like
I don't fuck with variants at all. If I can get it for black, $5 cheaper than a variant, I'm taking black. I just want it on vinyl. I don't care if it's. But yeah, the third wave, especially now with drive-through coming back, and like, it's wild. But
drive-through. We mentioned drive-through the other day. Drive-through is one of the bigger pop punk labels. I think in my head it's like drive-through is the second biggest, if not the biggest, of the pop of the straight pop punk. They might have been the biggest, and I made a video about them many months ago about the backwalking stuff.
Oh yeah.
And just my DMs got flooded with dudes that were like in bands at the time that we'd heard of, or bands that we hadn't heard of. That were like, yeah, we had a meeting with them, like, and a lot of them would be like, yeah, it wasn't weird, and I'd be like, no, it is weird. What you're telling me is weird.
Yeah, it's weird in retrospect because if you think about it, a lot of stuff. And this is, I keep my mouth closed on all this usually, but I'll give you an exclusive because it's a podcast.
Well, and it's a longer form. That's the thing too with even like brand new stuff. Like, I don't want to talk about this. I can only type so much. Your attention is only so much. Like, there's not the room for nuance.
Exactly. You cannot look at the past in a modern eye. We did not have social media. We did not have social justice warriors. We did not have anything like that. And I am not saying that it was a better time or it was better in any way whatsoever. But it's like, if I heard of a band member walking on this dude's back to like crack his back, I would think that was weird as heck, right? Especially now.
Yeah. Well, now it's like, oh my God, that's Predator. Back then I would have maybe just been like, oh, I can't believe you did. Like, I would have done that for a record deal, maybe. Yeah, like that's my, maybe I would have fucking walked on his back.
I had two friends that worked at drive-thru at one point, and it was before like blow up drive-thru when they were doing like mullet core and stuff like that. The Benjamins, shout out the Benjamins.
Well, at some point,
the most underrated band ever.
Wow, I don't think I've mentioned the Benjamins in the video. I haven't heard that name in like 20 years.
Amazing.
They drive-thru at some point sells, right? I think that's one of the two. Or they become a subsidiary or something like that at some point in the 2000s.
All distro through MCA, if I remember, and MCA had the option to take the band if they wanted them, which is why you saw Jack's Mannequin. I think even Phoenix TX. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why you haven't seen a Phoenix TX repress. And plus, they don't want to repress it for whatever reason. Oh, what I was saying, my two intern friends said that even though it was weird and both of them were weirdos, like legitimate just weirdos, they were not creeps. They were not creeps.
That's no one said a single weird. Like, it's weird that it happened. I will laugh about it happening and I will comment on it. You know, I also feel like with the way the internet is, like, it's like, can we, like, once upon a time we would have laughed at these things, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, but it's like, now it's like, are people going to say that, like, I'm like a rape apologist or something like that if, like, I'm, like, laughing about the guy? Because, like, everyone that messaged me, they're like, yeah, like, it's not like he tried to diddle us. It's just, like,
he wanted a back massage or something.
He's like, it's awkward. Yeah, like, that's what it sounds like to me, which is weird, but it's, like, in the grand scheme of the stuff that was happening in the music industry at the time, like, that's pretty tame. It's funny, and in our world it seems out there, but it's tame.
If you think about it too, like, so much stuff is different, and I'm glad. Like, I'm glad my kids don't have to grow up in a world that we grew up in. Yeah. Like, we use the F slur on a regular basis.
Oh my God.
To talk to our best friends, like, hey, F slur, what's up?
Dude.
We didn't. Like, we weren't.
Bro, like a few years ago, I went on Twitter and I typed in my name and both the long one and the short one. And it's like, it's not even like, I never was using it in a derogatory way. It was always like, just to your friends.
But in 2025, I would not do that because
hell no.
It's not the societal norm. I never want to hurt somebody's feelings or be mean to somebody like that. I'm not a mean person.
And I don't think at the time we were trying to, like, I don't think we weren't even thinking about it. Like, I don't, maybe you were more cultured, but like, I didn't even really know gay people or anything. Like, I didn't really know that many people like that. Like, and I never thought anything wrong or anything. It's just like, that's just what we call it. Like, even being like,
Yeah.
that's gay. It's like,
Yeah.
and then at some point you realize, like, that's really not fucking nice.
Exactly. So it's like, I'm glad that stuff has changed in social media,
Yes.
and like it is bringing people forward. I feel like now with whatever the fuck is going on in Washington, and people like, I feel like edgelords are going to make a comeback. Like, we're just gonna be surrounded by
there's a pendulum swinging, and like before I got into like posting about music, my TikTok was, I work with a lot of these like nicotine pouch companies, and a lot of them cater to like red state people like that. And I would have a lot of younger dudes like I still do, like a lot of younger dudes, and like you know, like 17 to like 20 young guys, and like they do skew very much more right, and much more like, I'm thinking like, oh, this kid, like, have you ever seen the 21 Jump Street remakes?
Oh yeah.
Where Channing Tatum goes to the school and he's like, I got a one strap, and like, you don't two, like, no, I'd zero strap it if I could. And he goes up, he calls him the fucking F word, this and that. He doesn't recycle, and it's like, no, that's not how we are. And I'm thinking like that's how kids are now, but no, it's like kind of reverted back to how it was in the 2000s almost.
Dude, my son is 11, 5th grade, and he is the most proper, like,
wow,
oh, no, you can't say that, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, you'll hurt people's feelings, or blah, blah, blah. Like, the kids, I feel like the kids are nicer.
Good.
The little kids. I don't know about, like, later gen alpha and those Zoomers. Like, Zoomers creep me out. No offense, Zoomers.
I don't think there's any watching. Yeah, as we're like an hour deep into talking about bands that haven't put out good music since like 2005. They stopped a long time ago. It's only the 30s and up here. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
I love we're supposed to be talking about music, and it's everything but music.
No, yeah, that's how they always.
Third wave. I love the third wave. Drive-through records. I don't know, dude. Oh, here's a tidbit. I don't know if this is true. Another exclusive. So Stephanie Rains tried to sign Glassjaw to Drive-Thru, right? Because they got the Movie Life signed. Whole reason Movie Life signed was because they trashed their van in the Jamestown van accident, whatever. So from what I understand, I heard this back in the day, have zero truth, alleged, whatever you need to say to not get in trouble. Allegedly, what happened was Glassjaw turned down Drive-Thru, so they signed Finch.
Wow, interesting.
And then Daryl sang on 2 songs.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's true. I have like so much random.
We're keeping it as well. Back then, especially, like, the stuff would make it onto like and news would travel really well then. And it's weird because like news would travel slower, but like it would stick. You know what I mean? Like we would all kind of hear these rumors and know about these things with these bands, despite there being no social media.
Yeah,
and they'd
it's because
be law.
People had an uncle that worked at Nintendo. You know?
No, I have a cousin that does it. Yeah, you could really. That's one thing the kids are missing out on. You really can't make shit up the same way. You know what I mean? Like you could be a model in a different country back then. Like you could be anything you wanted. Like nowadays,
dude, my uncle works at Nintendo. He told me a new Mario is coming out.
They're making a new one.
You understand production cycles? The fact that they will milk every game series. Oh, you really does have an uncle. I have the first Superman at home. My uncle gave it to me. Bring it to school. No, it's too valuable. I'm not bringing it to school.
You just believe them. You didn't have any way not to. You're just like, all right, well, if they fucking said it, you know. I mean, eventually some kids would get a rep.
If you think about it, it's kind of like that on Twitter.
Yeah, literally.
Like, it's just all misinformation. Everything is a fucking lie. I can't, between influencers being perfectly beautiful driving sports cars and all the misinformation I see on Twitter, like, I don't believe anything.
No, I don't believe anything I see. Like, and like, that's why, like, when people like will get upset or people start like arguing or something, like a video or something, or like if I say something that's very clearly like the emo school ones, I would do those, and people would like leave comments about how like I wasn't giving my kids a proper life, and I'm like, you really believe this is fucking real?
It's a joke, bro.
Like, of all the things, like, if you believe this is real, I'm worried about everything else you're seeing on the internet, because most things look a lot more believable than this.
Yeah, especially with like AI. I just saw the orange guy kissing the Russian guy.
Yeah, yeah.
On Twitter.
You could totally trick. Yeah, no, it's so people tell me all the time. They'll be like, "Oh, I gotta download TikTok and this." I'm like, you don't need to be on any social media. You need to get off there. Everything you're seeing is fake. You know, all people say, like people tell me like, "Oh, like I have a buddy. We stopped talking for months because he kept telling me, he's like, you're gonna become like a Republican because you're on TikTok." I'm like, I'm not scrolling on there. I'll click on my friends. I'll watch my friend's video, but like, I'm not falling down that rabbit hole.
You can't.
I curate it perfectly.
Unless you have a brand new account, I'll see something red or whatever, something I don't necessarily want to see. Maybe like once every 50 scrolls.
Yeah, it doesn't.
All
it
I see
doesn't
is music stuff, like thirst traps. I don't know how those got there.
I don't get those. Yeah. I don't get those.
And like food and like ADHD stuff. Like that's basic. And then TikTok thought I was a black woman for like a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of were you getting the hair relaxers?
I was getting black hair and bonnet advice for like a week, and I was there for it too. I wasn't like kidding. No, I was like, oh, that's.
I get those requests. I'll get like 3 invites a day, and one of them will be like weird LED like Temu stuff, and the other 2 are always like it's like shapewear or like women's like creams, and I'm just like, what is this?
Mine's always trying to sell me Bitcoin. I always have people in the like
nobody ever tries to sell me Bitcoin. You know, I've never had anyone try to. I was talking to someone who makes videos, Jezzy, you know Jezzy?
Oh yeah, of course. He's awesome.
Yeah, I was on Jezzy, and she was mentioning how she was going to a certain show in a certain location and this and that, and how like it was like, oh, like she didn't want to tell people, and I'm like, I didn't really get it at first, and then she's like, no, like I've had people mail stuff to my house.
That's so weird.
Like, how?
People
Who
are
these
weirdos,
people? I'm like, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Like,
it's actually funny you said that because I was scrolling earlier, and some really, really pretty girl like starts a video, and she's like, are you the person that, or like, who is the person that always sends my video to their friend or to whoever the moment I upload? Because like, you know how you can like send a video to somebody,
and you can see how many shares it has, and like you'd see right away.
And I'm over here like, every time my wife uploads a video, I do that so she gets more engagement.
Right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did that on my own. I shared a couple people. I'm like, there you go. Like, let's get this rolling.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, but what we experience will never be. No, it's that. Like, I'm not worried about people. I don't think I'm controversial enough to get people.
I'm also like, I really am not confrontational, so it's like I run away from that kind of like, you want to argue about a band thing, like I agree with you, like, you know, like the most, unless it's like older music, like if I'm talking about punk or ska or anything that's like older than a certain, like I did a video like where I'm just like doing a blind ranking on grunge bands, and like I'll still have comments trickling where people are upset about. I'm like, bro, I was fucking 4 years old. Sorry, I like Hole. Yeah. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like I like Celebrity
Kurt Cobain
Skin.
Wrote that record. Kurt Cobain wrote that record.
Yeah, that's what they say. Well, the one I like is the one that came out 2 years after he was fucking dead. So I don't think he wrote that one. I think Billy Corgan wrote a little bit of that one.
I think I saw them on tour for that album, the second album, Celebrity Skin.
That rips. But like for example, Brand New. Like if Brand New comes up, like the comments will get wild, and I'm just always like, I agree with you, because I agree with all of them. Like I agree with your opinion. I don't know. Like it's a complicated thing, and like, all right, like you don't like it. Like I feel you.
I've been going back and forth for the past 2 weeks because ever since they played those shows, it's gotten much worse. Like, my thing with the Brand New thing, this isn't defending Jesse, this isn't defending, you know, like, whatever. It's super weird to me how the Brand New fans are super toxic defending, and then the people who are against them are super toxic. It's like, I've never seen, just objectively, I have never seen that situation happen. Like, usually somebody's canceled or they're not canceled. In the grand scheme of things, Jesse did something horrible. There's always much worse. And that sounds bad, and I'm not trying to take away from victims or anything like that.
No, but I my way of looking at that too is like, if there is worse, and there needs to be levels to it. Like if Jesse Lacey, for example, can't receive the same punishment as Buddy from the Lost Prophets or something. You know what I mean? Like there needs like punishing Jesse and sending him away takes away from the other ones in my mind.
Not even talking about it on that level, but like not even talking about blame or guilt or anything. I want to know why Jesse is. Most people, if somebody's canceled, motherfuckers forget about it like a month later, right?
No.
Why did Jesse, and I'm trying to like word this so it's, were people like let down by him, personally hurt? The fact that he was a weirdo?
I don't, like, because no, I know what you mean. It's like, it's like, okay, if you brought like, okay, and there's so many accusations against other bands and this and that, and like those ones kind of get forgotten, this and that, or they get swept, or they become, like you said, like people kind of forget about them. For some reason, that seemed to be the one group, right, the one of anything that was, it's like of anyone that was actually canceled, and it's like. It was weird to me because it's like they're the ones that actually stayed away. You know what I mean? Like people complain about the apology. It's like that's the only motherfucker that like even typed anything out. You know, like
that was stupid on his part because he didn't really address anything. He said, "I hurt people in the past." He gave this vague ass apology, which then makes the people who want to defend him be like, "Oh no, he meant he just cheated on his wife," and then the people who hate him are like, "He admitted that he's blah 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 blah," and so I have, do you know justice sensitivity? Do you know what justice sensitivity is?
Kind of. It sounds like a stim or some sort where you're just like,
It is. It's like, I am all about like truth, justice, and fairness. So even if like I want to emotionally feel something about a issue or a case or a cause, my brain makes me like research everything about it. Like I have to. It's like it's why I'm not religious, because I can't piece together
can't look past the lack of logic on it.
So I try not to add my 2 cents in about stuff like that because I know I'm weird, and if I can't come to a conclusion like scientifically or factually or whatever, I don't feel like I have a need to add my 2 cents because it's just an opinion, and like assholes, everybody has one. But out of the whole Jesse Lacey thing, the defenders and the accusers, whatever, the thing that I think about the most is what did he do to the fans? Like I feel like he disappointed them, or he hurt them, or they liked him so much, or I feel like a lot of people didn't like Brand New anyway because they were kind of a douchey band with douchey fans.
That's what I feel like they were kind of like the hoity-toity one of that scene, a scene that is looked at like as like slop. They were the one band that was seen as legitimate. It's like, oh, they're indie darlings, they're critic darlings, they're a pitchfork band. They were a pop punk band, and now they're in this world. And yeah, there was kind of like that not even rock star like in the traditional sense, but that like mystery and this and that, where they weren't as I don't know, because like
but so I don't care about guilt or accused or blame, or like, not that I don't care about it, but I don't
you're not rationalizing, you're not lining it up in the same way.
Exactly. That shit fascinates me, how like they're like battling in comments,
and it's the only like, and it's funny because like I didn't post just only music stuff. I'd post like sports stuff, and I stopped posting sports stuff specifically because of that. Because like the comments would get toxic, and like one of the nice things, like especially like on my videos, like if like I've noticed like the girls that make TikToks, they get a lot worse comments than we do. But like for the most part, it's a constructive conversation. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like I say that Take This to Your Grave isn't the best Fall Out Boy album. It's like people are just disagreeing, but no one's calling anyone any names or any crazy stuff like that. It's just like, we like this, but like when it comes to Brand New, like when they came back the other day, I like was in, and it's like I should make a video about this. Like people want to hear about it, this or that. Like it'll do well, but it's like I just don't want to fucking like. It's not even like they're not even saying anything about me. It's just like I don't want that shit happening there. I don't like as much as I don't like the people that are very against, I really don't like the people that are like, I don't want to be encouraging. There's a lot of people who are like, I don't care what this or that. It's like it's almost the closest thing like in our world, like it's like some Trump type shit. You know what I mean? Where it's
Bro,
like,
I swear to
that's,
God.
That's like the Donald, but it's Trump where it's just like this guy did the slide where it's like, yes, what he did is bad, but it's like then I have other friends who are like, those girls could just close the computer. It's like, well, what he did was still not good behavior. It's not a good thing to be Skyping up teenage girls. Yes, it was, the culture was different. Things are like that. There's nuance, but like these people are going the total opposite way where they're like.
Well, and then they're throwing around words that, like, again, justice sensitivity. So
yes.
All this stuff, it's getting thrown. And even when people, this is how weird I am. So when people are like on the internet, like, you're a racist. Every single time. Not to me, but like in comments. Yeah, I'm not racist.
I'm like, how often? I haven't been called racist once on there. Like, what are you doing?
My wife is brown. I am not. Right. No, but like in my brain, I'm like, that's not racism. That's bigotry. Like,
you're like, yeah, that's something else.
Stop using racism. Wrong. It's bigotry.
No, there's like buzzwords that catch on. There's a local comedian that I did a few open mics with, and he had this great bit where he's like, everything's gaslighting now. He's like, whatever happened to good old fashioned lying? You know, like we used to just lie to people. Now you're like there's all these new terms for it. Like,
new one is narcissist. Everyone's
a narcissist. Yeah, and that's, you see that Jesse or a groomer, this or that. Like, and it's like, I also like, and it's like. There's a difference between being like this or that, like these very predatorial terms where these are all, like R. Kelly, like that is a fucking predator. Like I see a lot of these guys in this music scene as just fucking losers kind of thing. Like that you're being a loser 24-year-old guy chatting up a teenage girl because that's who's on your level mentally or something like that. I mean, it is predatorial. Like I'm not saying it's not before anyone says anything weird, but it's like, there's levels to it. And to me, it's just weirdo behavior. Oh, did I lose you? Might have lost him. I'm not sure. Can't tell. We can't tell, so we don't know. So if anyone is watching this, do me a favor, keep on subscribing. I'm guessing you already are. I don't know. We might have lost Scott. Yeah, I think we did. I think we lost Scott. So either way, while we're here, I'd like to thank you guys for being here. This is the 3rd episode of the ROBBCAST. There's going to be a 4th episode, a 5th episode, a 6th episode, probably a 75th episode. I don't know. We're not putting labels on things. We're not putting limits on things, okay? So in the meantime, rock on, you know? I don't know. I guess we'll just wait a couple minutes for Scott to maybe show up. I don't know. Do. Hey, there we go.
Yeah, my phone straight up died.
Oh, you're good. I was like, oh, it went away. I was like, I don't really know how to end these without someone else here. I was this is a test.
And plus, especially what we were talking about, like
right now, I'm like, all right. Well, you guys, we're gonna wait a minute. Yeah, we're gonna wait a minute. We're gonna wait.
So I really like Jimmy Eat World. I think they're great. I might go see them next week.
There we go. So before we wrap it up here, I'll let you go because keeping you on. Give these people your top 5 emo bands then, as the closest thing to an emo purist that is left in this world.
Bands or records?
Give me either one, whatever makes you happiest.
I can't even really do records because it's all over. Like Illmatic is not a emo record.
Yeah. Okay. For the people watching this that only know the Fall Out Boys and stuff like that, for those people that don't know, that don't know Game, put some people onto some Game here.
Jimmy Eat World Clarity is one of the greatest records of all time.
That to me is like second wave emo. Like that in my head for the longest time. That was it.
Also, you know what? Fuck it. My top 5 second wave emo bands or emo records. Clarity, number 1. Braid and Canvas by Frame. Braid, Frame and Canvas.
There we go.
The Promise Ring. We'll do Nothing Feels Good. Is that what it's called? I don't even know what it's called. Nothing Feels Good. It's the one with the Maryland thing on it. Even though I kind of like Very Emergency more. Anyway, The Promise Ring is number 3. Captain Jazz. We'll throw him down towards the bottom. It's kind of chaos, but it's beautiful. What's a good 5th one? Okay.
Get up, kids,
Listen to the Get Up Kids. But see, I consider is Something to Write Home About third wave, or is it second wave?
To me, I consider that like that's part of that third. Like
That's
by
like
that
the
point,
first,
like that's
right.
That's the
So,
start
but
of the
still,
third.
4 Minute Mile is good. Actually, deep cut. Listen to the Get Up Kids Red Letter Day EP. It's all their early singles.
Okay.
Something to Write Home About's not even my favorite Get Up Kids. All of their early singles are with like, I just know lyrics. I don't even know the song names. But hold on. I can't even reach
I got it right here. There we go. Look at that. This feels like MTV Cribs.
I can't get to it because I'm like trying to reach with my phone being plugged in. This
There you
boy
go.
right here. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Limited pressing too. Okay.
It was first time press, the record store day, like 2014 or something.
Okay, shit. So if you're watching this, you need to go listen to that. Doesn't sound like you're going to get your hands on the vinyl unless you want to go on eBay.
No, they're not even that expensive. Nobody gave a shit about it.
Shit. Okay.
That'll be the next episode in 3 months. Next time I come on, I'll teach you about how record collecting was so much better pre-COVID boom. I'm just kidding. I'm not really.
I was gonna say, like, I imagine it's. I would think it would. I was thinking it probably went downhill around the time, like the record store day, like around 2010, 2012, when that boom starts. That's when I
No, it
was
was beautiful because that was like there was a boom in the 2000s, a boom in 2010s, and then, dude, you'd be surprised. Oh fuck! My kids need to go to sleep.
It was a supply and demand thing, right? Like I think a lot of they couldn't press vinyl for a while.
Yeah, I still don't buy that. I kind of feel like the whole entire COVID thing was just greedflation. Like, people didn't spend money for a year, and then every company was like, fuck that, I need mine.
Yeah, we got to get our money back. We need to make it back. We've been paying out. We got a lot of PPE loans to pay out. Yeah,
because even like 2014, 2015, I think I bought like Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream for like $15.
Yeah, no.
You know, like
you go in there
was
now,
crazy.
Everything's like 30 and stuff like that. Yeah, like all the records I have are like, $5 to $15. Like, unless they were like a repress or something neat like that, like a band it was like, which was more like a souvenir memorabilia, but like the actual, like you want to find some records, you dig through, it'd be $2 to $10 or something like that. Like,
not anymore.
No, it's a different world.
Okay.
Anyways, thank you for fucking coming on. Hopefully some people learned something today,
Dude, they learned that I have ADHD like a motherfucker, and I